back and forth shit. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens, or is it like?
I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like I really.
The brawl between Gervonta Davis and Terence Crawford, while Tank and Lamont Roach were having a media meeting in New York, has broken the internet, and Terence Crawford has come to talk about what really transpired. And while he did that, he fired some shots at Tank again, and the boxing world can't wait for the next physical encounter between the pair.
I don't like him. I don't like
It's not your cup of tea. That's just not your.
I don't like nothing about him. You know, I don't like nothing about him. I just feel like, he just.
Sadly, a fight seems out of reach at the moment as Crawford has his gaze fixed on a super middleweight clash with Canelo Alvarez, while Gervonta Davis remains in the lightweight division. Both champions got into it last month after what started as a quick remark about the Ring Magazine Awards. Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis are never going to meet in the ring due to the size discrepancy, but that didn't stop them from getting into it with a few social media jabs.
If we was to fight right now on the streets, I'll break your fucking neck. And that's on my kids. And you know it, I know it, and the whole world know it.
Davis is focused on Lamont Roach right now, as he looks to retain his World Boxing Association lightweight title on March 1st, but Tank has proven that he is always ready for verbal warfare, with Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez on the horizon. Bud also has other priorities to attend to, but he recently revealed that their back and forth in January isn't where his opinions on Davis were formed. The exchange between them last month centered around money before Davis started to make it personal. And whilst that's nothing new in combat sports, Crawford made his mind up on Tank's way before any of this happened.
If Tank get to pick his opponent, he would do it. But Tank would never come from 35 to 54.
In a recent interview with Cigar Talk, Terence Crawford spoke about Gervonta Davis when the topic came up of Tank only challenging himself to move up in weight classes if he's able to pick the opponents. The interviewer then referenced their social media conflict and whether it stems from both men just being two competitive athletes at the top of the sport. Crawford replied that his response to Tank comes more from a personal dislike of the 30-year-old knockout artist who is often controversial. Nah, man, I just really don't like that dude. I just don't like him. Like, I really don't like him. I don't like anything about him. I just feel like he is one of these little, arrogant little dudes that's using what he got to shield him. He has a lot of security guards around him, and he knows he is in the limelight and stuff like that, but in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that. Bud did go on to say that whilst he doesn't like Davis, he can still acknowledge his talent. He's a good fighter. I respect him as a fighter. He definitely got skills, he got power, he got a tremendous boxing ability, but like his core personality and his ways, nah.
And I'm not talking about no fighting in the ring. If me and you was to fight outside, I will break your...
Crawford's compliment about Davis's skills didn't appear to sweeten the deal for Tank, who responded to the interview in this now deleted post. Damn the guy they had interviewed, that raccoon, and damn the raccoon, and be in New York City in 2 weeks. No security. How about that? Another talking point that is sure to put Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis at odds with one another is where Shakur Stevenson fits into the picture. The 27-year-old rising star returns this weekend at The Last Crescendo, where a lot of the talk has been about Stevenson potentially crossing paths with Tank in the near future. It's no surprise given their relationship, but Bud is backing Stevenson in this potential matchup that would undoubtedly be one of the biggest fights of the year.
One of these little arrogant little dudes that's, using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him.
Crawford gave his prediction of how he sees the fight going during the same interview. We are going to take his personality and personal things out of it, but boxing, he's definitely talented, and he's definitely got and he's definitely respected in boxing, but Shakur is a different fighter. Shakur is different. People may call him boring. People may say he can't punch, but they said the same thing about Floyd because they are defensive fighters. Tank is not going to be able to hit Shakur like he hit everybody else, and he knows that. Interestingly, Keyshawn Davis, with his recent World Championship victory, has added his name to the mix, and things have only gotten worse as Keyshawn Davis and Brian McIntyre, Crawford's trainer, have also called Gervonta Davis out. As for Stevenson, he recently experienced disappointment after his opponent, Floyd Schofield, opted out of the fight with a few days left due to an illness.
Tank know what's up, you know what I mean? He know what he up against when he fights Shakur or Keyshawn. You know what I mean? He want to fight these guys that everybody in the world know they ain't gonna give them no fight. They not mentally there, you know what I mean? They might have a little skills here and there.
Now, Stevenson will still feature on the huge pay-per-view event in Saudi Arabia on February 22nd. Instead of facing Schofield, Stevenson's World Boxing Council World Lightweight title will be challenged by Josh Padley. Padley is a fighter from England who boasts a 15-0 record, with 3 of his last 4 wins coming by way of knockout. The British fighter was a huge underdog in his last outing, as he was able to defeat Mark Chamberlain via unanimous decision. The fight will be Padley's first world title opportunity, having made his professional debut in 2019. Padley passed a weight check on Wednesday morning, 4 days prior to his new title. Stevenson was asked about his thoughts on the withdrawal of Schofield from the bout. "I think this kid was struggling to make the weight class," Stevenson said. "He probably had weight issues, and I think that was probably the issue. But instead of saying that, they come up with all types of crazy stuff." The World Boxing Council World Lightweight Champion said that he was disappointed in the bout cancellation. Stevenson said that he gave Schofield an opportunity to fight him, but that it felt like the challengers lapped him in the face by withdrawing.
Honestly, I've been thinking that since the fight started. I didn't really think it was going to be a possibility that they was going to accept the fight. So then when they accept the fight, they surprised me there. But then when they didn't show up to the press conference, I kind of had
Truthfully, I wanted to give him the opportunity to make some big money too. In the past, things got so intense between Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis that Crawford discussed an improbable bout versus Davis during a recent appearance on The Breakfast Club, a popular morning radio program on New York's Power 105, 1 FM. Crawford had never been beaten, let alone stopped. This did not, however, stop Tank from predicting he would defeat the 3-weight world champion inside the distance if they ever fought.
I got a question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look? 147? 147. I tapped that chin.
At 147, I tapped that chin and you know he's going to sleep? He got no chance. Round 6. In an interview with Fight Hype, Bud laughed off the comments and explained Davis was campaigning at lightweight for a reason. When you look at all the great fighters, they get called out by everybody from different weight classes. So it's nothing that I'm surprised about. Everybody says what they're going to do, but Tank is in his weight class for a reason. I don't see him coming up to 147 to face me anytime soon. He just talking, Crawford told co-hosts Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy.
Ken, you know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know he
ain't got no chance.
I already know he is.
He said no chance.
I got round 5.
You know, he has the confidence in himself that he believes that he can do that because he's been knocking all these fighters out that he's been in the ring with. You know, so no knock to Tank, but there's definitely levels. You know? And if he comes up to 147 and he's thinking he's just gonna knock Terence Crawford out, he's got another thing coming. Davis dropped Garcia twice, once in the 2nd round and again in the 7th round to win their Showtime pay-per-view main event April 22nd at T-Mobile Arena. Crawford, 35, has defeated each of his 8 welterweight opponents by knockout or technical knockout since he relinquished his International Boxing Federation, World Boxing Association, World Boxing Council, and World Boxing Organization 140-pound crowns to fight in the 147-pound division 5 years ago.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to
He sent Spence to the canvas for the first time in Spence's 10-year pro career during the 2nd round and caused 2 more knockdowns during the 7th round, en route to a 9th round technical knockout victory. Omaha's Crawford stands nearly 3 inches taller than Davis, who has knocked out 93% of his pro opponents. Crawford contended that he wouldn't receive credit for defeating Davis because their high-profile fight would require Davis to move up 2 weight classes. His purse would be big enough, however, to make Crawford take that fight if it were offered.
to be great. He can be like all the other fighters that moving up 2 weight classes and, you know, daring to be great.
You would fight him.
Man, tell him.
Yeah, I'll stay at 147 for him because that's a big money fight, said Crawford, who is also a former World Boxing Organization lightweight champion. It's a big money fight. You know, yeah, but then what? Everybody's gonna say he was too small. Nobody's gonna give me credit. They're gonna say, oh man, you beat up a little guy that fights at 135. Yeah, you know, tanks are like 5'5". You know, he is a little guy. You know, yeah, he can punch, but in his weight class. Not saying that he can't punch in any weight class because he punches punches and we see that, you know? But what type of recognition I'ma get for, beating up on Tank? A lot of people don't know 135 and 147 is a big jump. That's almost 20 pounds. Well, 12 pounds. That's a big jump.
Come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin. So tell him come and touch it.
Wow. Man. Gervonta said you.
Surprisingly, Crawford is about to make the same jump he once trolled Gervonta about. Addressing his achievements and future endeavors on the Joe Rogan Experience, Crawford talked about potential bouts against Canelo Alvarez. "It's great. This is my era and I'm taking it. Ain't nobody gonna stop me," he said. "Now that I've switched gears, I know I want to fight Canelo. I've always said that's a big step. That's a big step. But for a person to go up 3 weight classes from 147 to 168 pounds and to win and to become undisputed, what can they say?" The conversation continued. 3-time undisputed champion and the smaller fighter that went up 3 weight divisions to conquer one of the baddest men, besides himself, that's been doing it for probably longer than me. It all began when the reigning Tank was seemingly upset he wasn't invited to the Ring Magazine Awards, where most of the top stars and legends in the sport convened to recognize the best in the business in 2024. The event was held at the Old Royal Naval College in London, and the guest list read like a who's who of the sport. Alexander Usyk, Canelo Alvarez, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Lennox Lewis, and dozens of others. The Ring Magazine, which is now owned by Alalshikh, posted this iconic image on their social media accounts. Davis took the same image from Matchroom Boxing's Instagram account and added a caption profanely slamming Alalshikh and everyone in attendance. "Why didn't they invite everybody?" Davis asked in his post. "But they invited people they deal with. Out of here. Stop bum eating. Look at the little rat Eddie thinking he came up on something. Now tell them to all fight each other since they have a heavy roster."
You know why I said that? You know why I said that? Because he was already talking like he was back in Devin. Like, Devin's my guy. Like, all right, cool. Y'all want me to fight over that?
"They want to act like this guy is good for boxing when he's not good at stuff," Davis exclaimed. "If so, why is he not building the people where he is from? This guy knows nothing about boxing at all, and this who they turning to? All bum eaters." Lastly, he blasted fighters who have gone to Saudi Arabia to collect the massive paydays associated with Alalshikh's Riyadh season cards. LOL, they have to go over there to make money and still do, Davis said. "I sell where I'm from, idiot America."
Send me something first.
Yeah.
Send me something first.
Right.
I don't gotta fight. You know why fighters going over there? Because they can't sell here. I can sell here. So I ain't gotta go over there.
They are going over there getting their ass kicked fighting in front of a total of 19 people, but because they're rich, it's cool. Quite honestly, this approach doesn't look good on Davis. I fully support him sticking to his guns. If he elects not to head over to Saudi Arabia to fight, that's his prerogative. However, slamming other fighters as they celebrate and endure the challenges of networking and making business moves looks more like jealousy than genuine concern for the state of the sport. Well, Terence Crawford had the perfect exchange for him as he soon tweeted, "I see somebody mad they weren't invited to the Ring Magazine gala," wrote Crawford with a laughing emoji. Afterwards, he explained that he remembers not being invited too, but by that time, the wheels were already in motion, which prompted Davis to respond. "And I still make more than you," responded Davis by quoting his post. "Y'all think he chasing greatness. He's not. That's what he have to do to make decent money. Fuck boys," he continued in another post. Regardless of the feud that's happened between Tank Davis, Crawford, and Turki Alalshikh, the boxer does not close the doors of Arabia, but they will have to fulfill his whims first. Turki Alalshikh has bet on boxing to make a splash, taking some fights to Saudi Arabia. The most recent signing he made for Riyadh season was that of Saul Canelo Alvarez. The Mexican signed a contract that will see him fight 4 fights for them. 3 will be in Riyadh and 1 in Las Vegas, which would supposedly be in September against Terence Crawford.
Let's talk about the Turki Alalshikh. So obviously people got stupid money in Saudi Arabia. Hence why those boxers are lining themselves over there. You said that certain boxers was, dick eating for lining themselves.
The Arab Sheikh has decided to put a lot of money into boxing as if it were a video game in career mode. Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk took home the biggest paydays of their careers for both fights in Saudi Arabia. At first, Gervonta was not seduced by the millions that Turki could offer him, but it seems that he is changing his mind, as he said in a chat with a Safe Place podcast. That's why I said, oh yeah, I see what's going on. So now give me 2, 3, or 4 Ferraris, Gervonta explained.
With them, are you just not interested in fighting over there?
It's not that, but they came at me wrong the first time they ever came at me, which they said I will fight Devin. And then when he was saying like Devin was his guy. So I'm like, if Devin your God.
He also mentioned that they had already looked for him, but that he does not have much confidence in how they operate. They said I would fight Devin, and then they said Devin was their chosen one, so I thought, if Devin is their chosen one, now they have to pay me extra because I already know what I'm going for. If I don't knock him out, you're going to give the fight to him, said Tank.
Y'all gotta pay me now,
right?
Extra, like, cause I already know what I'm coming over there. You feel me? I gotta get the knockout. If not, y'all gonna give it to him. So that's what made me like, oh yeah, I see what's going on. So now, give me 2 or 4 or 3 Ferraris. If not, ain't no point in me going over there for.
30-year-old boxer closed the subject on the podcast with a message of respect for what Turki does. Gervonta pointed out that he is only grateful for the money he has put in, but also put a critical touch to improve, noting that we must be smarter and know more about the sport so that fights are fair. Davis, 30, will stand across from Roach Jr., 29, on March 1st, where he will defend his World Boxing Association title for the 2nd time.
Are you losing the love for the sport?
How many times do you want to get in the ring next year if it was your choice? 3 times. 3 fights for sure. Every time.
He declared, after next year, I'm out of it, out of the sport. But why is Tank eager to bask in the comforts of a retirement life when he's only 30? What about the fans and the ambition to put on a show for them? It seems it's all getting a bit too boring for Davis. He expressed his candid opinions about his retirement call when he appeared in an interview with Fight Hub TV.
Homecoming fight, Tank Baltimore. How about a homecoming fight?
You lost the love?
The 30-0 record holder admitted he lost interest in the sweet science and grew weary of it. He declared, it's trash. This sport is trash, garbage. Fed up with the whole sport. These comments wouldn't sit well with most fans, especially with those who campaigned and demanded he take up tougher fights and fight the best in the division. However, Davis found solace in making strategic calls, making money, and doing what he liked the most, knocking out opponents.
Looks like you were talking about retirement without even discussed at this moment, and now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously what you've done?
The question remains, how will the fans remember the Baltimore native and how will they judge his legacy? Davis addressed the same question when he had a conversation with Fight Hype. When asked about whether he would insert his name among the greatest, the World Boxing Association champion disclosed, I don't even care about that, bro. I don't even care about that. And where I'm from, bro, I will forever be greatest. I will be a forever G to myself. While the fans have only a year to enjoy Davis's explosive boxing and backflips in the ring, it doesn't mean his fight with Roach Jr. will be his last.
You said you know your next fights. Can we know who they are?
Probably the Ryan, hopefully.
He could squeeze in a couple of fights in 2025 before drawing curtains on his pro career. What's more, the lightweight champion is still under a multi-contract with the PBC, which spanned 6 innings, 7 fights, and also reportedly had a clause to fight Shakur Stevenson.
Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than.
And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.